Today we're going to be continuing our review of this mobile home park deal that I found on Mobile Home Park Store. And today we're going to be focused on the infrastructure. And the reason why we're focused on infrastructure is because it may be that this park has certain infrastructure that you just don't want to deal with. I know a lot of first-time mobile home park buyers, for example, they don't want any type of to invest in mobile home parks that are on wells, or mobile home parks that the sewer system is septic or lagoon or wastewater treatment plant. It's just too much confusion, too much infrastructure, too many unknowns, too much risk. And so they just don't want to deal with that at all. So if it turns out that the infrastructure of this park is such that it's not something that you want to deal with, maybe the roads aren't paved or something, then maybe this deal is dead and we should just move on to the next deal. So that's why we want to focus on infrastructure. In a previous video, we focused on the market, and the market looked pretty good. So now let's take a look at infrastructure. Luckily, we have a nice OM that was provided by the broker, and there's a lot of detail about the infrastructure. Sometimes you may not get all this infrastructure detail until later on in due diligence, depending on the seller and how cooperative they are and how much of this information they know. And sometimes they claim they don't know anything. So fortunately for us, we have here a pretty good sense of infrastructure based on the information provided by this operating memorandum. So let's take a look here. So water, sewer, electric, gas, those are the four big ones that we're going to take a look at. So the first thing it says here, water is public. Okay, that's good. So it's provided, it's city water or county water, and the tenants are paying. So there's a meter on the on each of the individual homes. The park is paying for the entire water bill, and then the tenants are submetered, so they have their own individual meters on the tenant units. And so the park owner, or maybe they have a third-party service that's doing this, has to go around, or the manager has to go around and take a look and read the meters and find out how much to bill each of their tenants for their water usage. There are different types of submetering that are available. I'll go over two that I come across the most, and that is a RUB system or just a straight up submeter system. So in a straight up submeter system, the residents are only paying for the water that they actually use, the water that goes directly into their home. In a RUB system, they're taking the entire amount of water usage and then dividing it up by resident depending on either the number of bedrooms that they have or number of people who are living in the mobile home. They're trying to find some proportionate way to divide it all out. So the RUB system is obviously, it's not quite as fair as submetering, because you might be paying you might have two people in your house, but you don't take long showers, and you're not washing your car every weekend, and so on and so forth, and someone else is using a lot more water, but you're still having to pay the same amount. So submetering in general tends to be a better way to go about it, but it's going to depend. And then when it comes to actually billing, it could be that your park manager is actually reading the bill and collecting, or reading the meters and billing the tenants, or it could be you're using a third-party service, and they are the ones that are handling everything, and the customers are just paying the third-party submetering company. So we went through the water. We understand the water is being submetered. Later on, we're gonna have to take a look and see how much of the water bill is actually being collected. So whenever I see submetering, that's my first question. Are they collecting 85-90% of what's being used in water? If they're not, it could be that they're only collecting 85-90% because the other 5-10% is being used in common areas to water the grass, office use, vacant units, people working on the units because they're doing construction or rehab. But typically speaking, if there's a huge gap between the amount of water that is being used and what the tenants are paying, unless there's a collections issue that's happening and they're just not paying what they're supposed to pay, it probably means there's some sort of leakage going on. In one case, I actually was talking to a water official, and they told me that they had an alarm system where if water was continuously going through the pipes for more than 24 hours, and it's rare that someone's been using water for 24 consecutive hours, that they would alert you and say, hey, there's probably some sort of leakage going on. The submetering systems that that they install, they also may have some sort of leak detection system in place as well, so you're alerted if it seems like there's some sort of leak going on. Fixing leaks is really important for you as an operator. Number one, I mean, obviously it's a conservation issue. We don't want to waste water. In general, dealing with leaks, getting better collections on your water sewer that's being submetered is probably one of your best ways to reduce expenses that I've seen. So that's something for you to really get a good handle on as you go forward in the process.